ब्रह्मनाथ ओ शांति 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 स्वस्थ।
Hello students, in the previous class we discussed about the types of respiration on the basis of their presence of the respiratory organ. We discussed that there are 4 types of respiration on the basis of presence of the respiratory organ. First one, the cutaneous respiration, in which the respiration is done by the moist skin, whereas in the case of the bronchial respiration, the respiration is generally done by the gills. Further, in detail, we discussed about the tracheal respiration, in which the respiration is generally done by the trachea. Okay, the tracheal respiration consists of the spiracles, trachea, and the fine branches of the trachea called the tracheoles. It occurs in the case of the some insects, centipedes, and some spiders. Okay. Next, we discussed how the air passes. As we discussed that the spiracles, those are the slit-like oval opening which leads to a space called the atrium, which further leads to the tube-like structure called the trachea, where the trachea is further branched into various fine branches called the tracheoles. Okay. And the tracheoles are being penetrated inside the tissue, where the gaseous exchange takes place. And in between the trachea and the tracheoles, the cell is present that is called the tracheal cells. Okay. So like this, by the help of these, we can say the spiracles and the trachea and the tracheoles, the tracheal respiration takes place. We discuss in detail. Further, we discussed that in the case of the pulmonary respiration, the respiratory organ is the lungs. The pulmonary types of lungs, the pulmonary type of respiration occurs basically in most case of the terrestrial animals. But the lungs are also divided into 2 types, diffusion lungs and the ventilation lungs. In the diffusion lungs, this type of lungs is generally present in the case of some snails, scorpions, and also in some spiders, in which the lungs is quite simple, and the gaseous exchange takes place by the help of the simple diffusion process. Ventilation lungs generally present in most vertebrate case, commonly example us or human beings. Okay, and also we discussed how in detail by the help of the ventilation lungs the respiration takes place in the case of the most case of the vertebrates. Okay. So this much we have discussed that the types of respiration according to the respiratory organ we have discussed in our previous classes. Today students, we are going to start our new portion of the respiration that is related to us and also very interesting, that is called your human respiratory system. Okay. Obviously the human respiratory system consists of lungs, and that is why the types of respiration that takes place inside the human is called the pulmonary respiration. Obviously pulmonary respiration means it is related to the lungs, and we have the ventilation type of lungs. Okay. So we can see here the diagram completely. The respiratory system of human consists of basically 5 important parts. One is we can say the nose. Second one is your pharynx. Third one we can say the larynx. Okay. Fourth one, that is your trachea, and the fifth one is the bronchi or the bronchioles as it is being written singularly, that is called the primary bronchus. Okay. Nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, and the bronchi or the primary bronchus. Okay. Primary bronchus. Okay students. So you can see here completely, see, this one is the respiratory system simply consists of first the nose, okay, then it leads to the nasal chamber. You can see here it leads to the nasal chamber. The external, the nose is being opened to the outside by the help of the nostrils. You can see here these openings, this is our nose and this is our openings, two openings. These two openings are simply called as the nostrils, and these nostrils get leads to the nasal chamber, okay. Further, we'll read in detail, don't worry about that. Further, the nasal chamber leads to the pharynx region. Pharynx region is the part, students, which is the common passage for the food and the air. You can see here, from here the pharynx region started, and this one is your mouth, this one is your nose. As through the nose the air pass on, and from the mouth the food passes. So we can say it is the common passage for the food and the air, okay. Next, the larynx region, which is most important point in the case of the respiration. Then this tube-like structure, this is called the trachea or the windpipe, which is bifurcated into the bronchi regions, okay. These are the primary bronchus region, okay. Why I am written this one is singularly I have written, that is why I am written the primary bronchus region. This one is your left primary bronchus and this one is your right primary bronchus. Always, students, you should remember while studying the physiology portion, this portion is your left, this portion is your right, always, okay. See, you are studying like this. It is not like this one is right, this one is left. No, you see accordingly to myself. This one is my left portion, this one is my right portion. So you should not be confusing. Okay, if while labeling any diagram, you should write always this portion is the left portion, this portion is the right portion. Okay. So next, the trachea is being bifurcated into two primary bronchus region. Okay, this one is the left primary bronchus and this one is your right primary bronchus. Further, the bronchus gets inside to the elastic lungs. You can see here, these are the elastic lungs. This one is your left lungs and this one is your right lung, okay. And the space in between the lungs is called your heart space, where the heart is being located. You can see here slight curve is present in the left lungs. Why? Because our heart is being slightly tilted towards the left side. That is why it is said that the heart is present on the left side. Okay, we will read in detail in the circulation part what this portion is called, and this portion is called the cardiac notch. Just as you just remember that what is the this portion is present, no need to by heart or something. Okay, so as here the heart is present and somehow tilted, you can see here slightly curved manner I have done. That is called your cardiac notch. You as of now you just listen, no need to have to do panic about the terms. Okay, next, as here the space in between the two lungs, the heart is present, that is why it is called the heart space. Okay, and below the lungs a dome shaped structure, okay, a dome shaped structure, muscular structure is present, that is called a diaphragm. Okay, what is it called? Diaphragm. What's its function? It plays the major role during the carrying out the respiration process. Okay, or also we can say that the diaphragm, we can say obviously this is the thoracic chamber or the thoracic region. Below the diaphragm it is the abdominal region. You can say now, students, that the diaphragm separates the anterior thoracic part and the posterior abdominal part. Okay, clear? So now we will discuss in detail of all the 5 parts that are involved in the human respiratory system. Okay, let's first discuss the nose portion. See, first part. Obviously, as this one is your first point, so we can, or the first part, so we can write, students, that the nose is the first part involved in the respiratory system of the human. Okay, so we can write it is it is the first part involved in the respiratory system of human. Okay, obviously as this one is your first the part, so we can write the common point that the nose is the first part that is involved in the human respiratory system. Next students, you can see the nose is being divided into two important divisions. One is your external nose, other one is your internal nose or chamber. We can write the nose is divided into two divisions, two subdivisions. One is your external nose, other one is your internal nose. Okay, this one is your, we can say, the external nose, and inside that it is called the internal nose. So we can write our next point that in the case of the external nose, it consists of the nostrils or the nares which are opens to the outside. So we can write our next point that the external nose consists of nostrils or nares which opens to outside for the gaseous exchange. Okay, see, the external nose consists of the nostrils or the opening. You can see here I have done also the opening that is called a nostril, which act as an opening which is open to the outside, by which the gaseous exchange simply takes place. Okay, we take in oxygen and we eliminate the carbon dioxide. Okay, so that is why I have written here the external nose consists of the nostrils or nares, it is also called the nares, which opens to outside for the gaseous exchange. Next point students, our nasal chamber, this one is called a nasal chamber. Okay, means inner to the nose, this one is called a nasal chamber. Our nasal chamber is being divided into two chambers. Okay, this one is your, we can say, left chamber, this one is your, we can say, the right chamber. Okay, the nasal chamber is divided into two parts, one is your left chamber and one is your right chamber, which is divided by the nasal septum. You can see here this portion is present, this segment is present, that is called a nasal septum, which is cartilaginous in nature. We know cartilaginous means what? It is somehow, we can say, soft, means these structures, these are the, we can say, the cartilaginous structures. So we can write our next point. The nasal chamber is divided into two divisions, that is right chamber and the left chamber, right chamber and the left chamber by the means of nasal septum. This segment, nasal septum, which is cartilaginous in nature, means it is made up of cartilage. Okay, next point, students, as we can say this is the it is divided into external nose and the internal nose. The internal nose consists of three distinct regions or three distinct parts. What? Anterior vestibular part, middle respiratory part, and also the posterior olfactory part. What are these parts? We will read in detail, don't worry about that. Just remember that the internal nose consists of, we can say, the first one, that is your anterior vestibular region, anterior vestibular part. Okay, next the second one, the respiratory part. Okay, respiratory part, middle respiratory part, and the middle respiratory part, and the posterior olfactory part. Okay, this will be more prominent if we will write internal nasal chamber, internal nasal chamber, internal nasal chamber. Okay, students, so the internal nasal chamber consists of three distinct parts. One is your anterior vestibular part, then the middle respiratory part, and the posterior olfactory part. Okay, so students, what we have discussed now, that the nose, it is the first part that is involved in the respiratory system of the human. Nose consists of two different parts, external nose and the internal nose. The internal nose consists of the nostrils or the nets which opens to the outside for the gaseous exchange. Further, the nasal chamber is divided into two divisions, that is called the right chamber and the left chamber, okay, by the means of the nasal septum, means this one, nasal septum, which is cartilaginous in nature, means it is made up of cartilage. Next, the internal nasal chamber, that consists of the three distinct regions, anterior vestibular part, middle respiratory part, and the third one, that is called the posterior olfactory part. Okay, we will read in detail what are the functions of these different regions. Okay, please note down. Next point, students, as we discussed that the internal nose, or we can say the chamber or the nasal chamber, is divided into three distinct regions or parts: anterior vestibular region, middle respiratory region, and the posterior olfactory region. See students, don't confuse about the concept. See, simply the nose is divided into two parts. One is your external nose, another one is your internal nose, means inside the nose what is present, it is the internal nose. Simply the nasal chamber divided into two segments, left nasal chamber and the right nasal chamber. What is inside the nose, that is called your internal nose or simply the nasal chamber. That nasal chamber means completely, this nasal chamber is divided into three distinct regions. Okay, anterior vestibular region means these segments, okay. Next is your, we can say, the middle respiratory region and the posterior olfactory regions. Okay, don't confuse about that. Okay, so first we'll discuss about the anterior vestibular region. So anterior vestibular region, the hair and the oil glands are present in this region to filtrate the inhaled air and prevents the entry of the dust particles. Okay, let's first write, then I'll make you understand. First point, hairs and oil glands are present to filtrate the inhaled air, filtrate the inhaled air, okay, and prevents entry of the dust particle. Okay, this point is very easy. You can you itself recognize, means in this portion we have the hairs. Why the hair is present? So that the dust particles should be, we can say, confined to this region. It cannot enter inside our body. Okay, or we can say enter into the nasal chamber. Okay, next point. The oil glands that are present in the intravestibular region, what it does? It acts as a sticky by which the dust particles get sticks in this chamber, or we can say the intravestibular region, so that it cannot go inside to the, or we can say, to the middle respiratory region. Simple, students. So we can say that the hairs and the oil glands are present. What it does? It filtrates the inhaled air and prevents the entry of the dust particle. Okay. Next point. Next is your middle respiratory region. This middle respiratory region helps in the respiration, having the bony ridges like structure called the nasal conchae. You can see here, students, 1, 2, 3. These ridges like structure, these are called the nasal conchae. Means ridges means segmentation or separated like structure. Okay, suppose we will take a segment and we will keep 3 divisions. Means it, how it will look? Similarly, it have like 3 segmentation or 3 separation. Okay, so this portion we can write as it helps in respiration. It helps in respiration and have the bony ridges like structure. What it is called? The nasal conchae. Structure called the nasal conchae. This nasal conchae is further divided into 3 different nasal conchae. What? You can see here 3 separation or segmentation or nasal conchae is present. First one, the upper one is called a superior nasal conchae. I have done the box so that you should not be confusing. Second one, or the middle one, it is called the middle nasal conchae. And the third one, that is called your inferior nasal conchae. Okay, students, so we can write here, this nasal conchae is divided into 3 parts. One is the superior nasal conchae, superior nasal conchae. Next, the middle nasal conchae, whereas the third one is your inferior nasal conchae. Okay, students, 3 distinct regions are there. One is your, we can say, the superior nasal conchae, and the middle nasal conchae, and the inferior nasal conchae. Okay. Next point, what it does? It helps in increasing the surface area for the respiration. What does the nasal conchae does? It helps in increasing the surface area for the respiration, or we can write it helps in increasing the surface area for respiration. Okay. Next point. What is the core function or the important function of the middle respiratory region? It have two important functions, students. Basically, it prevents the entry of the germ and also it gives warmth to the inhaled air. What? The middle respiratory region basically helps in if some germ is going to enter into our body, it will kill the germs, or we can say it prevents the entry of the germ. And also you can feel as if we respire or if we breathe out, we can see some sort of warmth, or means what we'll say, we'll feel the warmth on our hand. If we'll do like this, you just do like this now, as of now, if we'll exhale air, you will feel some sort of warmth in the air. Okay, so this is the main function that does by the middle respiratory region. So we can say our next point, it prevents the entry of the germs and give warmth to the inhaled air. Okay, students. And lastly, the division is, we can say, anterior region, the middle region and the posterior region, that is your olfactory region or the posterior olfactory chamber. It is lined by the Schneiderian columnar neuroepithelium membrane. Just remember the term, nothing to confuse about that. Means Schneiderian means it is a membrane type of which helps to identify the various types of smell. So we can write our next point. In the posterior olfactory chamber, it is lined by Schneiderian Schneiderian columnar neuroepithelium membrane. Okay, it is lined by Schneiderian columnar neuroepithelial membrane, and its main function is to identify different types of smell. It helps in identifying different types of smell. Okay, so students, see, the nasal chamber is divided into internal nose, or we can say the nasal chamber. Okay, as I have written in the last point in the previous slide, the internal nose you can also write, or the nasal chamber also you can write. Okay, the nasal chamber is divided into three distinct regions. Means the internal nasal chamber, that is divided into internal nose or the nasal chamber, is divided into three distinct regions. What? Anterior vestibular region, middle respiratory region, posterior olfactory region or the olfactory chamber. Anterior vestibular region consists of hair and the oil glands, which prevent to filtrate the inhaled air and prevent the entry of the dust particles. Okay, it filtrates the inhaled air and prevents the entry of the dust particle. Middle respiratory region, it helps in the respiration eventually and have the bony ridges, means separation like segment, that are called the nasal concave. It is of three types: supranasal concave, superior nasal concave, middle nasal concave, and the inferior nasal concave. See, supranasal concave, middle nasal concave, and the inferior nasal concave. What it does? The nasal concave basically helps in increasing the surface area for the respiration. Okay. What is the main function of the respiratory region? It helps to prevent the entry of the germs and also it gives warmth to the inhaled air. Okay. Next, the function of the posterior olfactory chamber, it is basically lined with the Schneiderian columnar, the neuroepithelial membrane, and basically its main function is to help in identifying the different types of the smell. Means olfactory, means it is something related to the smell. Obviously it helps in identify various types or different types of the smell. Okay students, please note down. Students, you just correct here DE. Okay, by mistake I have written I, DE. Okay, Cnidarian, DE. Okay, change I to E. Okay, just change it. Now student, come to your next portion in the human respiratory system, that is your pharynx region. Students, we can see here we have drawn the diagram of the pharynx region. The pharynx, we can say it is a short conical chamber which act as the common passage for the food and also for the air. So we can write our first point. It is the short conical chamber which acts as the common passage for food and air. Students, pharynx region, after the nose means we can say the nasal chamber, we can say the pharynx region begins, which act as the common passage for food and the air. Okay, this portion is your, we can say, the pharynx region. You can see the air can also pass. Obviously this one is your mouth and this one is the oral cavity by which food can also come. So students, the pharynx is the common passage for the food and the air. Also, the pharynx is divided into three different regions: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and also students the laryngopharynx. So we can write our next point. Pharynx is divisible into three distinct regions. What they are? First one is your the nasopharynx. Second one is your oropharynx. Third one is your laryngopharynx. Okay. First one is your nasopharynx. Nasopharynx. What is nasopharynx? See students, it is the anterior-most part of the pharynx and the internal nerve. Obviously, what we have told, external nerve or nostrils means this one. This one is your anterior vestibule region or the nasal chamber. Behind this, it is present the internal nerves. Okay, means these portions. Okay, internal nerves opens into the nasopharynx. Okay, students, internal nerves opens into nasopharynx. Okay. Obviously, also it have the tonsils having the lymphoid tissue. It have tonsils which have the lymphoid tissue. Obviously, lymphoid means students it is somehow related to the immunity system. Okay. Next. Next the division point is your oropharynx. Next one is your oropharynx. Students, you can see here, it is the lower part of the, we can say the oropharynx, it is the lower part of the pharynx. Okay, having the gullet, or we can say it leads to the esophagus. Gullet, or we can say simply the food pipe. So it is the lower part of pharynx. Second point, it have gullet. Okay, gullet is somehow, we can say it is the synonym of the esophagus or the food pipe. Okay, means see, the air also enters and the food also enters. The food which enters, it goes into the esophagus or the gullet. Okay, so we can say the oropharynx, this one oropharynx, which is the lower part of the pharynx region, leads to the esophagus or the gullet. Okay, students, and last one is the laryngopharynx. As the name suggests, the laryngopharynx means the pharynx, the region of the pharynx which lead into the larynx region, that is known as the laryngopharynx. Okay, or simply we can say it is the region where it consists of the glottis which is guarded by the epiglottis. Okay, first I'll write, then I'll make you understand. Third portion is the laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx. What is laryngopharynx? It is the region which consists of the glottis guarded by epiglottis. It is the region which consists of glottis guarded by epiglottis. Okay, I'll make you understand what is the thing. See, this region is simply, we can say, the laryngopharynx, or we can say the pharynx which lead to the larynx. Obviously this is the trachea. See, this is the trachea. Okay, in our system we can say this one trachea, and behind that the esophagus is present. Okay, so we can say this one is your trachea. Okay, this one is trachea, means the above the trachea we have the larynx, will lead now. So the pharynx region which leads to the larynx region, that is known as your laryngopharynx. And what it have more? See, you can see, students, this opening, okay, or this covering, this is called a leaf-like structure called the epiglottis. I'll make you one more labeling. See, epiglottis. See, students, this have an opening that is called the glottis, which is further guarded by a leaf-like structure called the epiglottis. The opening of the trachea, that is called the glottis, which is guarded by a leaf-like structure, that is called epiglottis. Okay, students, so how the food is being intaken? See, whenever you intake the food, okay, it's always, suppose this one is a tube-like structure. Suppose this one is a tube-like structure, students. Okay, whenever you eat the food, what happens? This always remain in the open position. Okay, food comes from this side, food comes from this side. This remains always in the open position. Whenever the food comes in, it push the epiglottis, by which it covers the glottis and it goes into the esophagus. Okay, so what is the function of the epiglottis? It prevents the food entering into the windpipe or the trachea. Understood, students? Okay, that opening is called the glottis and guarded by a leaf-like structure called the epiglottis. Okay, so did you understand? Whenever by the oral cavity or the mouth, when you enter the food is being entered, the epiglottis is like this manner, having the opening called the glottis. Whenever the food comes, it push the epiglottis, by which it goes into the esophagus, but it does not enter into the trachea. Okay, so that is why we can say that the whole pharynx region, it is a short conical chamber which acts as the common passage for the food and the air, or we can say the passage of the food and air cross each other. The passage of the food and air cross each other. Okay, so what we have discussed? So it is a short conical chamber which acts as the common passage for food and air. Pharynx is divided into three distinct regions: nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx, internal nares, this one, the internal nares. Okay, internal nares opens into the, we can say, the nasopharynx. It have the tonsils, okay, which consist of the lymphoid tissue. Okay, then the oropharynx, it is the lower part of the pharynx, and also it have the gullet. Gullet means we can say simply it opens into the food pipe or the esophagus. Laryngopharynx, the pharynx region which leads to the larynx, that is called the laryngopharynx, or we can say it is the region which consists of glottis. As I said, this opening, the glottis which is guarded by a leaf-like structure called the epiglottis. Okay students, please note down. Students, now come to your third main important portion, that is your larynx region. Okay. Here we have drawn two diagrams. One is your, we can say, the anterior view, and other one is your posterior view. This one is the larynx region having the anterior view, and this one is your larynx region having the posterior view. Okay. So first point, you can see the larynx is somehow, we can say, hollow and triangular shaped chamber. Okay. So first point, larynx, it is hollow. It is hollow, it is a hollow triangular shaped chamber. Okay students, next point, the larynx is cartilaginous in nature, means it is made up of cartilages. So we can write our next point, it is cartilaginous in structure, means it is made up of simply the cartilage. Okay. Next point, where is the location? The above the larynx region, the root of the tongue, means we have the tongue, the root of the tongue is present. Above the larynx region, the root of the tongue is present, and below the larynx region, the trachea is being present. Okay, so we can write our location point, that is above the larynx, the root of tongue is present. Root of tongue is present. Okay, and below the larynx, the trachea or the windpipe is present. Okay. Next point students, the larynx which you are seeing, it is made up of 9 cartilages, 3 unpaired and 3 paired. 3 unpaired cartilages are, we can say, the epiglottis, the thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage. Okay, whereas these are the 3 unpaired, whereas 3 paired are corniculate, arytenoid and cuneiform cartilage. Okay, let's write first the larynx. It is made up of 9 cartilages. Okay, 3 unpaired and 3 paired. Okay, 3 unpaired, which consist of 3 unpaired, those are, as I said, the thyroid cartilage, epiglottis and the cricoid cartilage. The thyroid cartilage, next epiglottis and the cricoid cartilage. We'll discuss one by one, don't worry. What are the 3 paired cartilage? Those are corniculate cartilage, arytenoid cartilage and the cuneiform cartilage. Corniculate cartilage, then the arytenoid cartilage and cuneiform cartilage. Okay, students. First, the arytenoid cartilage. Arytenoid. See, the arytenoid cartilage, it is the largest cartilage. Okay, in the, we can say, in the larynx region, it is the, we can say, the largest shield shaped cartilage that is present in the larynx region. So we can write, it is the largest shield shaped cartilage. Okay. Next point in the arytenoid cartilage, sorry, this one is a thyroid cartilage. Sorry, students, this one is a thyroid cartilage, not arytenoid. Sorry, thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage. Okay. The first one is your thyroid cartilage. Okay. It will more prominent if you write the complete sentence. Because if I'll write the only thyroid, it will make another meaning. So I will have to write thyroid cartilage. Okay. So thyroid cartilage, it is the largest cartilage and the shield shaped cartilage. So we can write, it is the largest shield shaped cartilage. Okay. Next point. In the thyroid cartilage, students, in the larynx region, we have the Adam's apple. You can see here this portion, this one is called your Adam's apple. In the males or the male case, it is quite larger in shape, but in the woman case, it is somehow smaller in shape. Remember this one, this structure, this is called, that is called your Adam's apple. It is more prominent in the case of the male as it is quite larger, but it is smaller in the case of the woman. Okay, 1 second, students. Adam's apple, that is called your Adam's apple. Okay, Adam's apple is larger in the case of men and smaller in women. Okay, next, that is your, we can say, the next, first we will discuss the all the unpaired cartilage, then we will go to the paired. Unpaired, first we will discuss the thyroid, next we will discuss the epiglottis. Next is the epiglottis. Epiglottis. It is the leaf-like structure, or we can say it is the leaf-shaped structure cartilage which is attached to the thyroid cartilage. You can see here, this one is your more prominent thyroid cartilage. This one is your epiglottis. As I said you, the leaf-like structure, you can see here, it is the leaf-like structure. Okay, it is the leaf-like structure which is attached to the thyroid cartilage. So we can write here, it is a leaf-like structure attached to thyroid cartilage. Okay. Last one is your cricoid cartilage. It is located below the thyroid cartilage. Next is your cricoid cartilage. Cricoid cartilage. What it is the cricoid cartilage is present below the thyroid cartilage. It is present below the thyroid cartilage. Okay, students, see. So first we discuss 3 unpaired. These are the 3 unpaired. Okay, these are the 3 unpaired. Okay, these are the 3 unpaired. The thyroid, epiglottis, and the cricoid. Next we'll discuss the three paired. So what we have discussed as of now, larynx. First point, it is a hollow triangular shaped chamber. It is made up of cartilaginous cartilage, that is why it is called the cartilaginous in structure. Above the larynx, the root of the, we can say, the tongue is attached, okay, and below the larynx the trachea is being attached, okay. Next point, it is made up of 9 cartilages, 3 paired cartilage, 3 unpaired cartilage. 3 paired cartilage are the corniculate, arytenoid and the cuneiform cartilage, whereas 3 unpaired are the thyroid cartilage, epiglottis and the cricoid. Remember, 3 unpaired: thyroid cartilage, epiglottis and the cricoid cartilage. Paired: corniculate, arytenoid and the cuneiform. See students, this one is your anterior, this one is your posterior view, okay. You can see prominently these are the ball black structure, that is called the corniculate cartilage. These structures are called the arytenoid cartilage. Cuneiform cannot be specifically shown in the diagram because it is somehow located above the corniculate cartilage. Okay, you should know that the cuneiform is somehow located here, or we can say above the corniculate cartilage. Okay, so next come to thyroid cartilage. It is the largest shield shaped cartilage. It is largest shield shape. You can see here the structure is somehow like shield shaped cartilage. Okay. It is largest shield shaped cartilage, and in the case of the larynx region we have the Adam's apple. It is more larger in the case of the man and quite smaller in the case of the woman. Then the epiglottis, it is a leaf like structure. You can see here it is a leaf like structure, okay, which is attached to the thyroid cartilage. It is a leaf like structure attached to the thyroid cartilage. Last one, that is your cricoid cartilage. You can see here also this one is your cricoid, okay, this one is your cricoid cartilage. What it is, where it is present? It is present below the thyroid cartilage. Cricoid cartilage, it is present below the thyroid cartilage. Okay students, so we have discussed now up to the 3 unpaired. Next we will discuss the 3 paired cartilages. Okay, please note down. Next students, we will discuss about the, as we discussed first the unpaired cartilage, now we will discuss the paired cartilage, such as first the arytenoid cartilage, then the corniculate cartilage and lastly the cuneiform cartilage. Okay, the arytenoid cartilage. Students, you can see here these are the some pyramid like structure, okay, these are the pyramid like structure which are present above the cricoid cartilage. So we can write our first point. These are the pyramid like structure cartilage. These are, or we can say it is a pyramidal or pyramidal shaped cartilage present above the cricoid cartilage. Okay, present above the cricoid cartilage. Okay, you can see here the prominent cricoid cartilage, but if we will rotate this, so you can see some portion of the cartilage that is called the cricoid cartilage. As this one is your, we can say the arytenoid cartilage, it is present just above the cricoid cartilage. Okay, next the corniculate cartilage. As I said you, it is a nodule shaped cartilage which is present, or which is, we can say, which is present above the arytenoid cartilage. It is nodule shaped cartilage which is present, or which can say which is present above the arytenoid cartilage. Is present above, or we can say attached to the arytenoid cartilage, above the arytenoid cartilage, or we can say attached arytenoid cartilage. Okay. Next one is your cuneiform cartilage. These are the elongated narrow like structure having the cartilage which are present above the corniculate cartilage. So we can write it is a narrow elongated cartilage present above the corniculate cartilage, present above the corniculate cartilage. Okay students, so what we have discussed, that the three paired cartilage that are corniculate cartilage, arieton cartilage and the cuneiform cartilage. Arieton cartilage are the pyramidal shaped cartilage, those are present above the cricoid cartilage. Corniculate cartilage are the nodules like shape like cartilage which are present above, or we can say attached to the arietonate cartilage. And the cuneiform cartilage, these are the elongated narrow shaped cartilage which are present above the corniculate cartilage. Okay. Next point, what is the main function of the larynx? One of the important function of the larynx is it helps in respiration or breathing. We can write our next point of the larynx function I am writing. Okay. It helps, means the larynx helps in breathing, or simply we can say respiration, helps in respiration or breathing, helps in respiration, okay, or we can say breathing. Next point, to elongated, or we can say the vocal cords, it acts as the sound box, which act as a sound box due to presence of the vocal cords. Okay, what it is means, the sound production, it also is the main function of the larynx region. We create the sound, I am able to tell something, you are able to hear that thing because of the, we can say, the larynx region. It acts as the sound box. So we can write our next point, it acts as the sound box due to presence of the vocal cords. It acts as the sound box, okay, as the vocal cords are present, that is why it is called it acts also as the sound box. What are the vocal cords? The vocal cords, you can see, these are the two elastic ligaments, okay, that are attached to the arytenoid cartilage. Okay, these are the two elastic ligaments that are attached to the arytenoid cartilage. Vocal cords are two elastic ligament attached to the arytenoid cartilage. Okay, in the diagram you can see clearly, this one is your, we can say, the thyroid cartilage, this one is the arytenoid cartilage, and this one is the vocal cord. It extends from the posterior portion of the thyroid cartilage up to the vocal process of the arytenoid cartilage. Okay, these are the two elastic ligament like structure which act as the sound box and by which we can produce sound. Also, the main function of the vocal cord is it helps in producing the sound. Vocal cord helps in the production of sound. Okay students, so what we have discussed now, see, the first we discussed the arytenoid cartilage. It is a pyramidal shaped cartilage that is present above the cricoid cartilage. Corniculate, it is a nodule shaped cartilage which is present above the arytenoid cartilage, or it is attached to the arytenoid cartilage. Then the cuneiform cartilage, it is a narrow elongated cartilage which is present above the corniculate cartilage. Okay, next is the larynx. It helps orally function, it helps in the respiration or the breathing process. It acts as the sound box, means it helps in producing the sound due to the presence of the vocal cords. What are the vocal cords? These are the two elastic ligaments, okay, that are attached to the arytenoid cartilage, which extend from the posterior region of the thyroid cartilage up to the vocal process of the arytenoid cartilage, and the main function of the vocal cords are for the sound production. Okay, students. So this is the diagram we have detailed in discussed. Okay, this one is the anterior view. You can see this one is your epiglottis. This one is your hyoid bone. This bone is present one of the bone. This one is your hyoid bone. This one is your, we can see the thyroid membrane. Okay, this one is the thyroid cartilage. Obviously, the cricoid cartilage we discussed, which is present below the thyroid cartilage, and below the larynx, the trachea is present. Okay, so three unpaired cartilage: epiglottis, thyroid cartilage, and the cricoid cartilage. Next, the posterior view. Obviously, as we discussed, the epiglottis is the leaf-like structure. This one is the hyoid bone, and here we have to discuss about the, we can say, the paired cartilage. So the pyramidal shaped cartilage are your arytenoid cartilage. Above those, the nodule-like structure, those are called the cornicular cartilage. Above the cornicular cartilage, in that diagram is not visible clearly, but the cuneiform cartilage, it is a long, we can say, the elongated narrow-like structure present above the corniculate cartilage. Okay, and obviously this one is your cricoid cartilage, which is present below the thyroid cartilage. Okay, and obviously from the lower portion or the below the larynx region, the trachea is present. Okay, as we discussed, in the larynx region, above the root of the mouth, the tongue is present, and below the trachea is present. Okay, please note down. Students, it will be better you write it is nodule shaped cartilage which is present, or we can say which is attached to the arytenoid cartilage. It will be better you write it is a nodule shaped cartilage which is attached to the arytenoid cartilage. It will be more prominent, as I have said you, which is attached to the arytenoid cartilage. Okay, just correct it. Okay, so students, today we have discussed the human respiratory system, and three important portions we have discussed: the nose, then the pharynx, then the larynx region. In the nose, we discussed that it is consist of two parts important: external nose and the internal nose. External nose consists of the nostrils, and the internal nose, or we can say the internal nose is, or the nasal chamber is being divided into three important parts. Okay, anterior vestibular region, medial respiratory region, and the posterior olfactory region. Also, the nasal chamber, this region is divided into the left chamber and the right chamber by the septum, nasal septum. We discussed so many points under the, we can say, the anterior vestibular region, respiratory region, and the olfactory region, which help in identify the different types of smell. Next, we discussed that in the case of we discussed the pharynx region. It is the, we can say, it acts as the common passage for the food and the air. Okay, it is a chamber which acts as the common passage for the food and the air. It is a small chamber which acts as the common passage for the food and the air. The pharynx region is also divided into three types: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and the laryngopharynx. Okay, we discussed in detail. In the oropharynx, it is the lower part of the pharynx, okay, which consists of the gullet, okay, which eventually forms the esophagus or the food pipe. Whereas the laryngopharynx means the region of the pharynx which lead to the larynx region, It consists of the opening called the glottis, which is guarded by the leaf-like structure called the epiglottis. Further, we discussed lastly the larynx region. Okay, the larynx region, it is a cartilaginous structure, hollow triangular shaped chamber, which consists of which is made up of 9 cartilage. 3 unpaired, 3 paired. 3 unpaired means 3, 3 paired means 6, total 9 cartilage. 3 unpaired cartilage are, as we have discussed, the epiglottis, thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage. Whereas these are the 3 unpaired, whereas the 3 paired are the arytenoid, the cornicular cartilage and the cuneiform cartilage. Lastly, we discussed that the larynx region, it acts as the sound box due to the presence of the vocal cords. Vocal cords are the 2 elastic ligaments, okay, which is generally covered by the mucous membrane. You can add here one point. The vocal cords are the 2 elastic ligaments which are basically covered by the mucous membrane. Add now. Okay. Also, we discussed that in the case of the vocal cord, the main function is the sound production. That is why it is called the sound box. Okay. So students, today we discussed 3 important major parts of the human respiratory system. Nose portion, then we discussed second one, we discussed the nose portion. After that we discussed the pharynx portion. Lastly, we discussed the larynx portion. And also one of the important function of the larynx is also it also acts or helps in the process of the respiration or the breathing. So that's all for today. We will meet in our next class. Thank you.